In my last videos, I've talked about improving the performance of the 390 Duke by modifying the airbox. But what about the smaller Dukes, like the 125? This is the airbox from a 125 Duke. This is the airbox for a 390 Duke. And as you can see, they are pretty much identical. There is one difference, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But let's talk about similarities. So 125, 390 airbox, as you can see, they are exactly the same. They use the same air filter, and the same aftermarket air filters will also work. They also use the same airbox lid, so the same aftermarket airbox lid filters will also work. But something to bear in mind before you spend money upgrading, especially a 125 with an expensive aftermarket filter. If you want to use upgrade so that it's reusable, then there's no issue with that. But if you're upgrading for performance increase, so let's talk about that first. The 390 airbox flows 3 times as much air as the 125 does as stock. So it has a lot of capacity to pull air in. More air intake capacity than you will ever need on a 125. So upgrading the air intake is probably relatively pointless. I mean, do it if you want, but don't expect any massive increase in power from it. The difference between the two airboxes come on the outlet side. So internally, they are absolutely identical. So this is where your restrictions are on the 125. It's not about improving the intake. The issue with the 125 is that you've got a much smaller outlet, and it stays the same through the throttle body, and so you will have further restrictions in the throttle body. So if you want to improve performance on the 125, as I say, you can upgrade on the intake side, but I don't think you're going to see a noticeable improvement. Right. On the 390, upgrading the outlet of the airbox through the throttle body to the engine is more of a stage 2 modification to increase more power, even a stage 3. But on a 125, it's probably going to be your first port of call. On the 390, you can modify the intake runner, and that's this. This is the only place where the 125 and the 390 are different, because the 390 will actually have a larger hole in the outlet here than this. I haven't checked to see if it actually really is larger or whether this is just a smaller outlet, but I suspect the hole is smaller here. Now this is a rubber tube that feeds in and it projects to here, so that's about to here. So it's a rubber tube that feeds out from the airbox into the throttle body. Now the nature of the design is that it's quite long. Now I've already removed the glue from this one, so let's see if we can actually pull it out. Right, so this is the inlet runner for the 125, and as you can see, it's got a bit of a funnel on the end and it sits here, but you can see how far back it reaches into the actual body of the airbox itself. So all of this capacity here isn't directly feeding it, and so what you can do, I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but what you can do is to shorten this up, and that will access more of the airbox to actually feed into it. So that's a possibility if you actually want to upgrade the power on your 125. There's very little else you'll be able to do, I think, and realistically get a good improvement. But if you're considering putting a 390 engine into a 125, bear in mind You will also need to upgrade the inlet side with a 390 airbox and throttle body. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.